And once again, don't swear because it's on recording. We're good to go. Okay. So now that's going. All right. So let's real quick take a look at Canvas, so we know exactly what's due this Sunday. All right. So there, Canvas, and log in, and courses 102. Hey, we got a game sale coming up in 2 days. So I guess that's Friday. Game sale on Friday. All right. And then we want modules. And then we want, scrolling down, we're towards the end of the class. We want assignment, JavaScript, DOM, and document structure tables and themes and mock data. All right. So basically, the big thing is we want this center table. We want it to come up with this table and update every 5 seconds. So here, I don't know if I can expand it, but here it has data, and every 5 seconds it's going to update the time and the new data for that 5 seconds. Now, what we have to do, we have to use graphic above. So we've got this. We've got the table set up, but not filling with data yet. We need to format your page to match page above. We've got most of that taken care of already. Write inline CSS to make it look. Yep, we're good to go with that. Use table to format your code, make the page look above. Write the table and hard code the data to mock it up. Okay, so basically we're going to have it look like this. And we're going to have new data. Now, you guys will have a few more buttons, not a big deal there. But basically, you'll be able to load the table with new data. Okay? As far as, this is the wrong rubric, so don't worry about, homework 1 rubric. So basically, just follow these things. We've got a CSS. We don't have to stress too much about that. Make it look like the image above. Use graphic above. Write table format, look like the image above. So make it look like it above, make it load new data. And we're going to load the new data now. So let me go to Visual Studio Code, and we'll start messing around with our code some more. So Visual Studio Code, boom, boom, boom. I'll get out of this one and open up ours for this class. Okay, file, new folder, open folder, Monday, Wednesday, class 1. Select the folder, okay. All right, so what have we done? So I gotta do this too on my end. Let me fix my side. Okay. I've got Notepad open on mine. Okay, so what we've done so far is we've got our huge data table here. Like we've imported where it says get element by data, rows, seconds, inner HTML. So if you look on our index.html where it does that data, where it does the table, we have class table 2. We have the ID for this is data. So it's going to go into this ID, this data ID. And basically, it's going to look for each one of these. And it's going to import the data accordingly. I'll get out of here. I'll make this so you can see the rest of my. Okay. So you can see where it's going to plug it in here. Now, if we run it right now, nothing really happens, right? If we do a start here, we get our reading data, stop, the data goes away, reading data goes away. If we do our inspect, we do our console, it says, there's some issues with it because we haven't finished it yet. But if we do a start here and do a stop here, it doesn't write anything to it because we're hiccuping in the middle. Not a big deal. Okay, so we've got this table in here. We need to fix this script a little bit. what we have the time read, if, all this other stuff. And then we have this element by time thing, so it can give us our element. One thing I'm going to do as a side, I'm going to make a new, I'm going to copy or get rid of this. Well, exit, cut it. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, not a big deal. But I'm going to create a new function called update time. Oh. Thank you. Oh man, I knew that was coming. Update time. And we're not going to pass anything into update time. And then inside the update time, we're going to do this. So what it'll do is it'll update the time currently. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is for my button, that current time button, I'm going to change it to update time. So it'll just update the time. I'm going to say here, I'll call it update time. So just update time. Okay? Just give that button something to do. All right.
Wait, which one did you cut?
Oh, what I did, if we look in our script, remember how we had a console log, and then we had where it would update the time, like it would add the time to the bottom.
The document game element by ID time.
Yes. Yep. And I cut that and put it in its own function. Okay. Now we still have a copy of that down at the bottom of this. So there's two ways, or two opportunities to update the time. When we click the button, it'll update the time, and also when we run the update display here, it will update the time. You don't have to do what I'm doing now. I just wanted to make sure the time is working and everything's good with that. Okay, I'm going to save it. Whenever you have a little white button next to it, it means you should probably save it. It's not been saved. Okay. And then I'm going to run it. Open with live server. And I do current time. Oh, it's not displaying. Okay. So there's something wrong with that. Okay. I won't get involved in that yet. But there's something wrong with my time stuff because it's not working. It's not updating like it should, like it's supposed to. So let me fix that, or let me hit that later. Right now, we got to get our chart going. We got to get this chart going. Okay. Here, I want to see if it errors real quick. Make sure we have a error coming out. So it can tell me what's going on. Okay, what does it say? It says, cannot read property get hours of undefined update time. Okay, so scripts 14. Okay, so line 14. I just want to look to see how I messed it up before I get too far along. So let me bring my thing up. We go to 14 under scripts. 14. So it's having a tough time with that. Let me see.
Does it work when it's on its own?
Okay.
I just tried that and it didn't make me, and then I turned it on its own again and it worked.
Okay. Oh, you know why? I bet it's this guy. I bet I need to put this in there. Maybe we'll try it. If not, okay, I'll hit it later. I just want to. Yeah, there it is. It is working. Good. Okay, cool. so I just needed to put that variable in there that I had lied about. What I needed to do was you have to put the time equals new date. So it grabs an updated time. Whenever we click it, it does update time. It grabs a new time, and then it displays it on the screen. And we should see no errors with it. Let me make sure before I get too excited. Yep, we're good. Do current time. Boom, boom. Yes, it's not giving me any problems. It's going good. Okay, good deal. So I just wanted to get that button to do something else, okay? Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to start displaying this chart. We have to get this chart figured out. And there's a couple of areas that we have to modify so that we can get the chart in there. First thing we have to do is we have to make sure that our stop and start functions are taken care of. So what I'm going to do, let's go to here first. Yeah, I don't need this. So we have our stop and start functions are here. And if we go to scripts, because that's where we put them, we have our stop functions and start functions. So what I need to do is in my start function, I need to add an extra line. So start function, we do that reading data. And then the next line, I need to create an index equals 0. What that does is it starts reading lines, and we give them the index. If we look at our data, if we look at our data loader, you see how we have these datas, and inside we have index. Like this is index 0, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. We're telling it here when we click start fun to start at 0. So to do that first, the index 0 will be the first one we start with. Okay? Now, the other thing we have to do is, in addition to that, we have to set this timer. Because what we want is we want every 5 seconds for it to load new data. So we say timer equals set interval. So set interval. And then we want update display. So update display, comma, time interval. Okay? And then we end it with a little semicolon. So what that does is that starts a timer. It gets a timer set for us. Okay? So our stop looks good. Oh, for our stop, we need to clear the timer. So we need to, well, we don't need this function, so we can get rid of this function. I'm not going to copy it or anything. I'm just getting rid of it. And instead, I'm going to put clear interval. And then the interval is timer. And then put a semicolon. So what that does is that clears the timer. So when we click start again, it'll start at 0. It won't keep adding up, okay? So each time we hit start data, it starts at 0. Every 5 seconds, it'll read a new one, and then it'll go back to 0. When we stop it and restart, it'll go back to 0. Okay? Let me make sure I've got everything else. We've got that. We've got that. I want to check our global variables real quick. I can get out of here, right? You guys have copied this stuff over? Okay. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to index.html, and I'm going to look at our global variables that we declared at the beginning just to make sure we have all the variables we need. Okay? So I'll come back. Let me go to index.html. And at the very beginning, you want to declare your variables at the very beginning. And we have some variables, but we don't have all the variables we need. So let's add the variables what we need. So we have the time. That's good. We need another variable called temp time. okay? And that'll give our functions something to work with besides the true time. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me do temp time equals new date. And actually here, for the time, we should probably put new date for there too. I don't think we need it, but let's put it in there anyway, just because that's what Luis, the guy before me, did. I don't think we need it here, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. We don't need this place craft sounds. We've been doing that already. We've got a button for it. So let me get rid of craft sounds. Okay. So we have temp time. We need a new variable called time interval. It's that one that we just used. Okay, time interval, and we're going to set that equal to 5,000 milliseconds. How many seconds is that if it's 5,000 milliseconds? 5 seconds. Good math. Okay. Then we're also going to create a new variable called last iteration. What that does is that tells us what the last iteration was. And when we start, it's going to be 0. It's going to change as we go through. But that's what the last iteration is. We're also going to create a variable called running. And we're going to say equals true. And we need 2 more variables. We need var index, and that's going to start at 0. And we also need var timer. Okay, those are all the variables we need. Oh, we need one more. I lied. We need one more. This is a very important one. I'm going to even give it its own little. These are global variables we need. So I'm going to comment. I'm going to make a comment. You don't have to do the comment. But I am global variables we need. You don't have to comment if you don't want to, but it's a good idea. It's that whole pretend like the guy who's doing your testing is a homicidal maniac that knows where you live. You want to write good comments so he doesn't get pissed off and kill you and your family. That's a good thing. We don't want him to kill us. So we write comments so that we know what everything is. Okay? Or what'll happen, you write comments so that when you get a better job and you leave that place, you're not leaving all your buddies high and dry without knowing why you did this or why you did that. So it's a good thing to do. Because let's be honest, in the software industry, if you're good at software, you're not going to get fired. You got to be really crazy to be fired because they need you. Okay? So really, when you're working, you want to be nice to your friends. You know, you make friends. Yes, sir.
Did you tell that to my friend who's a software developer? He's always worried that he's going to get
fired for no reason. I mean, no, there are people who are truly a-holes, and they might have risk of, but you got to really do something to get fired. Yeah. And I figured because he wouldn't be your friend if he I mean, like this is the guy. I know a guy who's in the industry. In fact, he works. I think he still works for GoDaddy. But his ex-wife came in and she threw a fit at the whole thing, and they got into a screaming fight in the middle of his workplace. You know. And he's swearing and calling her F words, dropping F-bombs and stuff. And the manager's like, hey, could you take it outside next time? And they did it, and she came in again, and he's starts F-bombing and just completely ignored the manager. And the manager's like, okay, well, we can't fire him, so let's live with it, I guess. It's crazy. You gotta, if you're good at software, you're gonna get a job. That's the way it is. So write comments because you want to be nice to your buddies who work there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the one thing. Don't write illicit code. Although if you do and you leave good comments, then you got stuff to protect you in court. You could say, yeah, I meant for you guys to know what I'm doing here.
This is entirely for research.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Or I was going to come to you with what's going on. That's why I commented so much, so I would help you to follow the code. Okay.
I wasn't trying to. I wasn't trying to hack into your systems and try to get me to make it.
Exactly. Exactly. So no, it's good. It's good to write comments. Comments are important. Okay, so what I'm doing is I need a function. Well, it's not a function, it's a variable data. And what data allows us to do is load the data into our array. So var data equals, and then we have a get data function. Okay, so we did that. We've got our vars in. So we're good with vars. We have one thing to double check. Make sure you've got two scripts being sorted, or two script sources. You've got your scripts where all your functions are, and you've got data loader where your data comes from, right? So we've got our two sources. We've got our bunch of variables, global stuff we need. We've also got our data function or data variable where we do the get data function. Now we access this get data function, but right now I don't believe we have a get data function. Do we? Nope, we have our constructor and we have our file sounds, but we don't have our get data. So we also need to create a new function called get data. I don't care where you make it. I've got a nice gap here, so I'm going to do the function here. So function get data. Okay. So function get data. Let me make sure under my index. Yeah, get data. Here's our get data function. So we need get data. Let me bring it up here. Okay, so in our get data function, what do we need? Well, we need to get data. So we do variable, loaded data, equals load data. And then we need to return loaded data. So what this does is this accesses our load data and it returns the loaded data. Okay, so it gives us our loaded data back. Okay? And then we need another function where we're actually going to write the data. So we have a function called data row. And we're actually going to pass three different things into data row. We're going to pass legend, L-E-G-E-N-D, and we're going to pass value, and we're going to pass units. So those are three items that we're going to actually pass into this function. And then this is how we're going to use it. We're going to say MSG equals, and then in quotes, TD. In quotes and arrows. So we're going to pass TD into this message. Okay? And then we're going to add to it. So we're going to say message plus equals. So we're adding to it. And we're going to add to it legend. So what it'll do is first it'll open up a new table in that, or a new cell in that chart. And then it'll load the legend into that first cell. And then we have another MSG plus equals. And we're also going to add to it a quote and then a semicolon, or I'm sorry, a colon, not a semicolon, but a colon. And then close TD and open a new TD. And then we'll do a semicolon after that. So what that does is that closes the first cell and opens the next cell. And then what we're doing, we're going to add to the next cell. So MSG plus equals, and then we're going to load value into the next cell. So whatever value we're looking for, we're going to load it in the next cell. And then finally, MSG plus equals, and we're going to give it a space, plus units. So what it'll do is it'll load the units into that MSG. Once we get those things, we need to close up the cell, so another MSG plus equals. Then we got to close the cell, so we do a caret TD. Oh wait, sorry. Slash TD. Want to do it right. Close it. Close that. Semicolon. And then finally, we'll have it return the written MSG. So when it runs it, it'll return MSG, whatever that message is. Where we have legend in one cell, we close that cell, we open another cell, we put value, units, and put that in the second cell. Okay? So we've got that one all done. So we've got our get data, our loaded data. We've got, I don't like this being dark. That scares me. What's wrong with this? Well, it's never red, but it is red, isn't it? Didn't I read it in here? Get data. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to copy. Just so I know my fat fingers didn't screw it up. I'm going to do a copy. And then I'm going to do a paste. Okay. It was just scaring me. That's all. It would probably fix it, but I wanted to make sure. So I just did a copy and paste to write it there. Okay. So we've got that. Oh, it's going dark again. Ah, well. He'll figure it out. Okay.
I wasn't done with it in this.
Okay. After that, I'm going to make sure the constructor looks good. Make sure we've got that written in, which we should. So we've got our input data. We've got our get data. We have our data row. I'm just going through making sure we've got our data loader. We've got data loader, so we're good there. We've got all our data from our data loader, so we're good there. And then finally, for our functions, we need an update display function, which we have. We need a stop timer function. We need a start timer function. And we should be good. So does everyone have everything? Okay. Oh, you know what? I forgot this. I was getting so excited. Got to put my semicolons in. And it's not a problem until it's a problem when you forget the semicolons. Okay. I'm going to go through, I'll come back up to here. I'm going to go through. So we've got our timer stuff works. We've got our input data constructor. That looks good there. That looks good there. We've got our sound. We don't need to worry about sound right now. And all the other stuff. Yeah. So we should be, we've got our start and stop, right? Update display, start function, stop function. Let me make sure my stop function is. Does it only have 3? Yeah, it only has 3. So stop only has 3. Start has a bunch more. And we should be good. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run it and see if it works. Okay. So let's run it. So like they used to say in NASA, let's kick the tires and light the fires. Okay, here we go. Ready? Reading data. Come on, baby. Maybe not. Looks like I failed. Yep, I failed because it should be reading data. It should go from there. So let me make sure. Let me see where I made my mistake. It worked fine yesterday, so that's why it's a little concerning. Where did it screw up? All right. So can't read property 0 of undefined. So that's number 44. Script 144. Okay, so let's kill this. Let's go to script. Let's go to 44. Times seconds. So it's saying it's having a difficult time with this time read. Let me make sure. Time seconds. Okay. So that's why you can't read it. It can't get into here. All right. So let's make sure. Get data, var data. Var data, there's our data, times seconds. Let's make sure data loader, or not data loader, scripts, times seconds. Let me make sure times seconds is the first thing. So let me go there. Yeah, it's times seconds, so it's reading this. So it should be good there. What else is going on? What else did I screw up? Time interval, time. I think this dark is what's scaring me. There's something going on here that I screwed up. So function get data, loaded data, so that's good. Load data function, load data, so that's good. If I can't fix it in the next 8 minutes, you guys will have after class Monday. You'll have Monday night instead of Sunday night to make this do. All right. So what else could be going on? Okay. Temp time, temp time. All right. Let's see what else I might have forgotten. Oh, I guarantee it. You're absolutely right. Let me make sure. Let me make sure I have the right if statement. If time read is greater than 10, but it's not reading the time read. It's not getting it in. I have that square bracket, so that should be good. Okay, what I'm going to do, let me hide this first. I'm going to save these. These are all saved, aren't they? Yeah, okay. So let me do a close folder. I'll show you when it works, what it looks like. Because my Tuesday, Thursday started working. And then we'll go back and fix it. All right. I want to check to see there's our var data, get data, so that works.
What if your data.rows was spelled wrong, maybe?
It would have caught it when it was loading it. Or which one do you think I messed up on?
CSS sensor.
Yeah. What it'll do for that is it'll load at least the stuff that's correct before that, and then it'll screw up, it'll kick, but it's not even loading now. You see how my get data is bright here?
Yeah.
Let me see. And my get data, so my get data is bright there. I'm gonna maybe move it up and see if that helps. Let me do a close. And then open folder, Monday, Wednesday, class 1. Okay, and then if we go to there, I'm going to go to my script. See, I hate how this get data is not bright. So I'm going to move it up just to see. I don't think it'll help, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Like interfering with another type of data? Oh, wait.
It's light.
Yeah.
Maybe order is important.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that's a solution to my problem, but at least I'm happier because it's light, it's being accessed. Let's try it again. Okay. Kick the tires, light the fires. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what it was. It was order. Order killed me.
Some small thing.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Let's put it back up.
To the top of the code.
Okay. Yep. So what I did,
Your data loader.
get data. It was being accessed before it was there.
The function get data.
Yeah, make that early on. Stupid. Okay.
Okay. It's supposed to look like this. Oh, it's right here.
I don't know if that helps everyone, but that helped me.
Cut it.
Now hey guys, what'll happen is I'm going to give you, because we didn't have any troubleshooting time today, I'm going to make the homework due on Monday instead of Sunday. And all day Monday in class, we're going to have a troubleshooting session. So if anyone has problems, come to class, we'll fix them. Okay? So if it's not working for you now, try messing around, but don't sweat it. Do Monday, come to class, and we'll fix it Monday. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to sit at the front. I'm going to have you email me code that doesn't work. I'm going to go through it, and we're going to fix it. Okay? Sound good, guys? That's my Thanksgiving Day present to you. Okay? Excellent. I'm just happy it worked. I thought it was stupid. That was stupid, that whole order thing, but that's what it was.
Yeah.
And now that I know that order is important, I'm going to see if I can screw it up again and see what it needs to be, where it needs to be. Try it here. It's still going to be good. Okay. So then I'm going to do. I'm going to do it after this. Did I have it in the update display? I didn't have it in here, did I? What if I have it at the bottom?
Because I have it in the exact same place you had it.
You know what? I bet I had it inside update display. I bet that's where I screwed it up.
Can I look at the function update display real quick?
Yeah.
Oh, there. You see how it has it?
You know what? I had it inside the update display. That's what killed it.
Okay. Is this colon in the same?
Oh, hey guys, that's another. I had them both.
Yeah.
This data row should not be inside the update display function either. I don't think. No, this data row, this one here, you see that's where my problem is. All of these should not be inside the update display. That's why. Because I declared those two functions inside another function.
You're missing this. You're missing this whole the SMGs. Yeah, MSGs.
Yeah, don't declare it inside a function. It needs to be its own function. Like get data needs to be its own function, and this data row needs to be its own function. And let me run it just to prove again. Perfect. An update. Yep. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, let's say I messed up on naming, okay? Let's say I screwed up when I did this thing. I misnamed gyro X and I made capital Y. Okay? Let's say I did that. Where it's going to error is when it's going to go until that gyro and then it's going to fail. So let me run it and I'll show you what it looks like. So it does that. Everything looks fine. We start it. It reads the data. And then you'll see, all right, it does that, but it stops. It doesn't do any of the gyros. And if I do inspect load code, it's going to say there's a problem in script line 62. So if I go to script line 62, so scripts, and I go to line 62, there's where I had a misspell. It's all lowercase here, but in the index, we have an uppercase. Okay. And then when we run it, so that's what'll happen. Monday, the homework is not due till Monday night, and Monday is going to be an all troubleshooting day. Okay. Excellent. All right. Stop here, and we're good to go. And if I look at my inspect looks good. Okay. What else do you want, or what do you want me to have on the screen?
I'm getting it with that variable time reading was data index that time _second stopping time.
Okay.
Right in the update display.
Okay, so it's at the beginning, or it's
Mine is like right above the if statement.
okay. Oh, this time red.
Yeah.
Yeah, the,
See, my dad is like for the
It
document.
keeps stopping mine right there.
Okay. And okay, so what probably happened? Where is your get data function? Is it right around that? Just do a control F.
Yeah.
And then do get, G-E-T, and get data.
My get data is closer to
Okay. Okay. Because what I want you to do is I want you to highlight that section, do a control X.
Yeah, mine's all the way at the top.
Okay, and put it at the very top. Okay, good. Do control V, just to move it all by itself. Okay. Well, what we'll do, it won't be due till Monday night, so Monday we'll talk about it. Okay? Excellent. And we'll go from there. I'll go ahead and stop our class meeting. If you want to, go through the class meeting